Hello everyone, Fanta here. You're watching Fantavision, and today I'm talking about how you can avoid the infectious diseases and these crazy plagues that randomly appear once in a while while working with the general public. Because when you are working, just with everybody, and you really can't control who comes into your store, whether they're sick or not, whether they should be there or not, whether they're, contagious or not, you need to figure out how you're going to keep yourself from getting sick. And there are plenty of ways to do it, and we're going to be talking about that today. So, because of the recent events, of course, I'm actually in an infected area. That's really cool. Cracking the beer. It's not even in the intro right now. All right. Leave a like if this helps you and you work in retail. Please do. The algorithm's been murdering me. And the coronavirus will be murdering me next. So really, what can you do? Because you are in the worst possible situation when you're working in retail. Second worst. If you are working in the medical field, you are in the worst position during a time like this. I guess in the medical field, you're wearing masks like this and you're constantly going through sanitation stations, but you're at the front line of the battle versus these diseases. So I guess it's almost tied, because in retail, you can only do so much that your employers will let you. I feel like they've got to let you wear these. I seriously do. It really depends on what job you're working, but if the coronavirus or some serious illness comes to your neck of the woods, I guarantee they're going to let you wear these masks. And if they don't, call it sick. Fuck them. Is it really worth risking your health for that amount of money? I remember during the whole Ebola scare, I was just reading the news constantly. I had hours of free time because it was an off season for GameStop, and it was in a not super busy area. So I'm sitting there on my phone, I'm scrolling through Reddit, I'm reading all the news reports, and I see all these doctors coming back that are infected with Ebola, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to die. Ebola is incredibly infectious, and the way you die is just horrific. And I panicked. I seriously panicked. I drove myself into kind of a crazy frenzy. I went into Walmart next door right afterwards and bought an ineffectual amount of soup and water bottles. Now, what that was going to do in the Ebola fight, I don't know, but in my crazed mind at the time, that was the best thing to do. Instead, this time I'm stocking up on stuff that normally I'd eat anyway. I'm just buying more than usual just so I don't have to go out in the general public more. And I'm just doing what I can, doing what I can. But in retail, you don't have that luxury. You don't work in an office that is locked and you have to have a key to get in, and you really have to only worry about the idiots you work with that might come in when they're sick anyway. No, you have to worry about every moron in the planet that thinks, oh, it's just a cold, I'm just going to wait it out, I'm going to go to the store and get some NyQuil, and infect every single person there. So what I recommend you do, especially if this coronavirus gets in your area, and some of the things I did during either just regular flu season or swine flu was a little bit before I started working at GameStop. So I would just say during the time of flu season, what did I do when I was working in retail? Used a ton of hand sanitizer, so much, it's ridiculous. Do not touch your eyes, do not touch your mouth, don't touch any orifice until you have sanitized the fuck out of your hands. Also, use disinfectant spray on everything. So let's just say you're working at, Walmart or GameStop. If you're in the electronics area and you have a demo unit, keep wiping that thing down. Keep wiping down all of your touch screens, everything that you have to touch. During the flu season, we would take hand sanitizer and sanitation spray, and we would just soak the keyboards because they're shitty keyboards anyway, and they can withstand all of that liquid and even if they couldn't, whatever, we'll just go buy another keyboard. We just wanted to make sure that we did not get sick. Even after handling somebody's used games, we'd immediately go back to the hand sanitizer. I remember, and it's actually happening again, my hands got so dry that I had to start using lotion. Like, I don't normally have that issue with my hands, but because I just kept using hand sanitizer, your skin's going to dry out. Your skin is definitely going to dry out. So I guess buy lotion as well so you don't start cracking and bleeding, because then you've got more areas you have to worry about catching these infections. It's a vicious cycle of these things. It really is. Another thing that I highly recommend with something like this, especially because this sort of virus it's crazy. This one's crazy because you can get it from somebody who is not showing any symptoms. You can get it because there's an incubation period of, I believe, 4 to 14 days. And during that time, people can spread it. And because of that, I don't recommend going to places where they are preparing food, because, I mean, they could have it and they don't even know, and then they're touching your food. They could be breathing all over your food. You know, I would play it safe, and I would get lots of frozen stuff for your lunchtime. And because I know the reason I bring this up is not to scare you guys. Really, seriously, don't get scared about this. I'm sure it will be fine. I tell you this as I'm in a horrible panic, but that's just me. I'm the only one freaking out of every single person I know. Everybody else is just telling me it's okay. It probably will be okay. So I'm going to tell you it's okay. Maybe if I lie to myself enough, I'll feel better. But seriously, when I worked in retail, I constantly would go to Subway. McDonald's was inside of Walmart, so just get something cheap and easy and quick. I'd go to a bunch of different restaurants all the time. I would be eating fast food. In-N-Out was down the road. A burger is like $3. It was cheap, it was fast, it was easy, and it was delicious. The In-N-Out part was. The McDonald's wasn't so much. I recommend you start doing that anyway, just to save money, honestly. I think this whole thing could get a lot of people into better habits. Now, a lot of frozen stuff isn't super great for you, but I mean, they got the healthy choice options, and honestly, a lot of those things are pretty damn good. They've got like the steamer ones where it's like in that tray, and it's got the sauce underneath it, and then somehow the microwave steam. I don't understand how it works, but it's not that bad. And if you get sriracha sauce, which I just discovered is one of the most amazing things on the planet, and I've been missing out on it my entire life, just get sriracha sauce because it's like $2 or $3, and it's not that bad for you, and it's delicious. It'll spice up any of that bland food because, yes, microwavable food is super bland. So get some Cholula if you're eating Mexican, and get some sriracha if you're eating Asian food or anything with noodles. You can just kind of put it all over there. Even if you're eating mac and cheese, put that on there. Just do it. There you go. Get some sriracha. It's delicious. Another thing I would do when I was working retail during the flu season, what I did at Walmart, I couldn't do this at GameStop because in GameStop I was trapped behind that, desk thing. I mean, it's such a tiny store. You can't really do this. But in Walmart, you can easily, in most departments, just not deal with people. If there's somebody else working, let's say in electronics. If you're in electronics and somebody else is working, you can do go backs. You can do stocking stuff. You can do so many different, you can do store picks, site to store stuff. I don't know if all of those are still options as an electronics associate. Maybe they've hired people for site to store stuff. I don't know. But if those are options that will help you avoid customers. And the less contact you have with other people, the better you are. Seriously. A cool thing about Walmart, unlike GameStop, is you can kind of keep your distance from people. Just kind of make your bubble a little bit bigger. I did that during the flu season, and I did that for people that smelled really bad. Even if they're trying to close in that gap, you just keep slowly stepping back, but not rudely. Use your hands a lot. They'll usually want to create a bigger bubble just so they don't get smacked. I mean, you're not gonna hit them. You don't want to touch them anyway because no. Usually if you're moving with your hands a lot and you're discussing things, people naturally back away from you a little bit and they'll keep you with some more space. So you don't have to worry about them coughing in your face or anything like that. So definitely establish bigger boundaries between people when you have to work with them. I mean, you can apply this to if you're working at Target, Walgreens, any retail establishment where you are stuck being this close to people. GameStop, I had the desk to protect me. And when I'm out on the floor, I have a very small amount of time where I actually have to worry about being too close to said sick people. And that's why when I was working at these places, I never really got sick. And it's funny, I worked at a place that I definitely should have gotten sick. And at the time, I really didn't worry about getting sick. And that was when I was volunteering at an ER. I was the person that was regulating how many people could go visit their family members, because it was only like 2 at a time or something like that, unless they got like special permission for some reason. And I was at the front desk where people would check themselves in for whatever sickness they had. We had like people rushed at the entrance. Like somebody came in, people rushed this guy and put like a plastic thing over him because he had bronchitis or tuberculosis or something. It was tuberculosis, I think. And they didn't want him spreading it because I guess tuberculosis is super contagious. And even when I've seen people like vomit blood all over the floor, like for some reason back in high school, I just didn't give a shit. But as I've gotten older, my sense of mortality, I guess, has gotten a lot more extreme. I'm like, oh, dying's a real thing. So now I don't know, a little bit more freaked out about it. But even so, I've never caught any of these big, knock on wood, I've never caught any of these things before. And I think it's just because I maintain these habits I've told you guys. I have reduced the amount of time I've spent with random people as much as possible. I stopped eating at the restaurants where people had to prepare stuff. I started eating at restaurants, I guess. I just started eating frozen foods. I didn't make as many unnecessary trips to the store. And when I did, I used hand sanitizer. They sell that portable hand sanitizer. The thing is honestly, I bought this not just because I'm paranoid and a crazy person, but also because I wanted to use this as a prop in this video. And I almost couldn't get one. These things are selling out everywhere. If you feel like you need one of these things and your city has not been hit yet or your state hasn't been hit yet, you might want to go out and buy these because they're super cheap. They're like $3. I honestly don't know how well they work. I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. But if you do feel like you'd feel a lot better going out in public with those, or if you do work in retail and you're allowed to wear those masks, I definitely recommend wearing those masks if you have to work at like in retail and they allow you to do so, because it's airborne, so you might as well, you know? Why not reduce your chances as much as possible in all of these different ways? I'm not saying you have to start wearing rubber gloves and you have to cover your hands in, well, I guess that's hand sanitizer. I was going to say cover your hands in alcohol all the time, but that's what hand sanitizer is. I don't know. I just want to keep all you guys safe. And because I know what it's like. I know what it's like working retail during these sort of things. Even if you're not super worried, I felt like making this video might help a lot of people not get sick. Because getting sick is stressful for so many different reasons. Not even if it's like a super deadly thing. But even like the common cold, it's stressful because you're missing work. And let's just say you don't have enough holiday hours. Or you don't get any holiday hours. Like I didn't get any at Walmart because I was a part-time associate. So that's money you're losing. Then you have to worry about the bills. And then you have to worry about getting people sick around you. There's all these different things that are compounded onto getting sick that just kind of, it's like a hassle. It just makes your life a lot more difficult. So I'm hoping that this video will kind of give you some ideas if you didn't have them already. And hopefully none of you guys get sick with this thing out there. Again, I'm not trying to freak you guys out. I just wanted to make this so you don't get sick, just in case this does come to your neck of the woods. And hey, if this all blows over, whatever, you can just apply this to the next flu season, honestly. Maybe not the mask thing. That's a little bit much during flu season. But, I mean, flu season gets bad sometimes, so maybe you still want to use the mask occasionally. I don't know. But I still recommend most of these tips for any time where there's a sickness going around. So, there you go. Hopefully I helped you out. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any more helpful tips for other people, if you think I'm just a crazy person and I'm worrying about nothing, or if I did help you out and maybe you had some of these ideas, and I'm sure most people are using hand sanitizer already, but maybe they didn't think about, oh, I should probably stop eating at restaurants. You know, some people don't think about that. So, thanks for watching, everyone. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you guys. Stay healthy. Today I'm drinking Sequench Ale. I recommend anybody who drinks heavily to not drink as much. That's another thing that lowers your immune system. I have pretty much stopped drinking whiskey at this point. I'm just having like a beer occasionally because I don't want to lower my immune system. Also, nicotine, if you smoke or vape, highly recommend you stop doing that, at least for now. If you have a really bad nicotine addiction, guess you're kind of foobar, but at least try. It does lower your immune system, and every little bit you can do to help yourself, I highly recommend. And like I said, the main reason I made this video was because I'm not a complete hypochondriac, but when I hear about stuff like this, I immediately envision the worst scenario. My biggest phobia by far is sickness, because it's something you can't really do anything about. You can just kind of hope things like I do, like, the mask, hand sanitizer, staying away from people, not eating prepared food. That's it. That's all you can do, is do those things and hope that the people around you are also trying to do as much as they can. And it's this invisible thing that can just slow down or ruin your life. And the thought of that terrifies me. So if I'm not alone here and you guys agree that this is also one of your biggest fears, hopefully my video has helped ease your fears a little bit, giving you a few more things you can do to make yourself feel better. So I really hope this video helped you out. And yeah, hope I didn't scare anyone. I really didn't mean to.